Today we're going to be talking about your digital footprint, and we're going to be trying to figure out how we can create a positive online image with what we post online. So the first question is, why do I care about my digital footprint? You might be asking, why are we bothering to spend time learning about this? So first, one thing you need to know is that Facebook and other social media sites can save and keep 7 years of a person's online activity. So even if you delete something, they can save it and hold on to it, and it can be searchable by companies. So these saved posts can be used by colleges and employers to check out potential students or employees. So a college, when you apply, could search your old posts and find out things about you, and you might have, even if you've deleted them. A survey found that 70% of employers have not hired employees based on information they found online. So it was people that applied for a job, and when the employers did a search, they found something that they thought was inappropriate or would not be a good fit for their company. Some examples of images that you could use to represent this: if you're drawing in your sketch notes, you could draw a 70% pie graph like we have down here and write out next to it, "Lost out on jobs because of online posts." You can also draw a logo of Facebook or another social media site and write next to it that they can keep your post for 7 years. The next thing we're going to talk about is a definition of digital footprint. So a digital footprint is all the information online posted by you or by those with access to your social media sites. It's what people learn about you on the internet based on what you search, where you search, what you post, and what others post about you or even in response to you. So it could be just comments on your posts. So it's really important that we think about things before we post, because it could be permanent and it could be part of what is searchable about us online for a really long time. So if you post a lot, there's not anything wrong with that, but the more you post, the larger your digital footprint will be, and the more information there will be available for others to find about you. So if you post a lot, then you need to be really thoughtful about what it is and really careful. Some images that you could put for this would be a big footprint next to a little footprint, and out to the side you could write, "The more you post, the bigger your digital footprint is." So some of you may be under the idea that if your post is private, there's no way that it can be shared with other people. And we've talked about some ways that this isn't true. So privacy settings are a good first step, but there's always ways to get around those. The information that you post or others post about you can be searched, copied, and passed on so that it is visible to a very large invisible audience that you don't really know about. It might be shared without your knowledge if someone takes a screenshot of it and passes it on. Some things you could post for this is some of the images that we talked about in the video we watched earlier. So for example, people whispering to each other, people making copies, the big stadium watching the TV. We're going to talk about 5 rules of digital responsibility. So these are things that we want to keep in mind as we're posting online. Number 1 is don't be a digital dummy. So be smart about what you post online and what you say to or about others. The internet is public and permanent. This is, when we talked about in our video, we used the Sharpie to represent this rule because it's permanent, just like what we post. The next rule is don't be a digital gossip. So talking about others in a negative way is not a good image to present of yourself. For this one, you could draw 2 people whispering to each other or somehow passing information. Number 3 is don't be a digital follower. Don't let friends influence you. If someone posts something you think is inappropriate, report it or ask them to delete it instead of joining in. So for this image, you could draw little stick people following, like in that image there. Our last two rules are number 4, don't be a digital daredevil. Be careful about the sites you visit and the information you choose to share. Not everyone is who they say they are online. Number 5 is don't be a digital bully. Don't hide behind your computer and be rude to others online. You want your post to represent you as a good person. Number 5 is a lot to do with what we talked about our last unit about cyberbullying.